Remember when Lil Nas X and a company which I still can't properly pronounce dropped a Satan shoe? And then Nike got mad because they were losing athletes who thought Nike was part of the collaboration? So then Nike sued? Well, it's all coming to an end, folks. And I'm gonna tell you guys all about it right now on InformOverload. But before we get into it, you know there's something you gotta do for me. I really shouldn't have to tell you because, you know, at this point, it's like oxygen. No one tells you to breathe in oxygen, yet you guys do it. Smash that like button or I'll ruin your Thanksgiving dinner. One of these years, I'll just show up one day and I'll just ruin the turkey. I'll just throw it off the table. You won't even know I'm coming there. Alright, so as you likely know, there was a lawsuit between Nike and mschf, the company that teamed up with Lil Nas X to make the Satan shoes. Although Lil Nas X was promoting the shoe and the company mschf used his image and brand to promote it, it seems that was the extent to which he was involved. And because of that, it seems he wasn't being sued or isn't really all that involved in this situation anymore. mschf, on the other hand, well, they aren't being let off so easy, as Nike brought the hammer down. Now, a quick recap for those of you unaware, mschf, which is an internet collective, teamed up with Lil Nas X to collaborate on the Satan shoe, which were custom Nike Air Max 97s. What made the shoes custom, aside from the limited 666 amounts sold, oh, spooky, were the unique designs on the shoe, which included a satanic symbol and a drop of blood. And when people heard that Nike was working with Lil Nas X to sell a Satan shoe, which included a real drop of human blood, well, obviously people were disgusted. Some thought it was cool, some thought it was outrageous, and I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. Both because people legitimately thought it'd be a good idea, and because people actually bought the shoe. Now, of course, the blood was in the sole of the shoe and wouldn't ever actually touch your foot. Of course, unless it ripped in the right place. But even then, a drop wouldn't do much to ya. It was mixed with red dye, I believe. But again, why buy shoes with anyone's blood in them? Forget that we're in a pandemic, which makes things even more problematic. Who would want to walk around with these shoes on? They look kinda cool, but not really. Apparently 666 people, because they sold out in minutes. And they were priced at $1,018 a pair, which referenced the Bible scripture on the side of the shoe, Luke 10:18. Going back to Nike, for them it was a bad look, as a handful of their athletes took to social media to speak out against the shoe, with some going as far as saying they no longer want to be aligned with the brand if this is what they're going to be promoting. Unsurprisingly, this led to an emergency press conference for Nike, who shut the rumors down that they were involved very quickly. They then took things a step further to prove they had no involvement and handed the company who worked with Lil Nas X, mschf, a lawsuit. And it seems both sides were able to come to an agreement or settlement where mschf is offering to buy back all the shoes they sold for a full refund. Other details of the settlement have not been released, but a part of it does include a buyback program, which, if I'm being honest, will only make these shoes go up more in value. mschf was going to do a giveaway for the final pair of shoes, which they've been holding on to since the release, but now will be keeping it for themselves. Like a little keepsake, you know? Like, look at what we did. But both Nike and mschf's attorneys spoke on the settlement, and it seems both sides are very happy with how things played out. David Bernstein, no relation to me, different last name, looks the same, don't know the guy at all. One of the attorneys representing mschf explained, I quote, "With these Satan shoes, which sold out in less than a minute, mschf intended to comment on the absurdity of the collaboration culture practiced by some brands, and about the perniciousness of intolerance." It's not in my vocabulary. Having already achieved its artistic purpose, mschf recognized that settlement was the best way to allow it to put this lawsuit behind it so that it could dedicate its time to new artistic and expressive projects. Nike released a statement reading, I quote, "mschf altered these shoes without Nike's authorization. As part of the settlement, Nike has asked mschf and mschf has agreed to initiate a voluntary recall to buy back any Satan shoes and Jesus shoes, another name for the shoes, for their original retail prices in order to remove them from circulation. If any purchasers were confused or if they otherwise want to return their shoes, they may do so for a full refund. Purchasers who choose not to return their shoes and later encounter a product issue, defect, or health concern should contact mschf, not Nike." So again, this is Nike just doubling down and making it very clear that they do not want any involvement with the shoe at all, but if you do decide to keep it and you have any issues, talk to mschf, not Nike, because they don't want to get sued for anything. Now, just because they're offering to buy back the shoes doesn't mean people are going to necessarily return them, and Nike has no way of ensuring that customers do return them because technically, now that it's been sold, well, it's the individual's property. All in all, this was just great press for the company mschf, and as much as Nike wants to say they're upset, it just helped their brand even more as they were making headlines for weeks. And of course, for Lil Nas X, well, I mean, the guy's been all over the place as of late, so I'm sure he didn't mind having his name attached to this controversy as well. But again, it seems he was not named in the suit, so likely he won't have to face any repercussions from this at all. Now, as always, folks, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this one down below. For now, let's do some comment replies from the video. Top 10 YouTubers who should be in prison, part 2. Bookish Raider said, Logan Paul was on The Masked Singer recently, and one of the judges thought it was his brother, Jake. LOL. I feel like not enough people are talking about that. Maybe they don't know what The Masked Singer is, but like Logan Paul's gonna be at WrestleMania. Like, this kid is literally taking the next step in the YouTube game. Love him or hate him, he is literally breaking out from the YouTube world and is getting places that are like big. Like, what YouTuber has been featured at WrestleMania? Even if you don't watch wrestling, that is like one of the biggest events of the year, I'd like to say. Masked Singer, the guy was on a reality show where he was singing and no one knew it was him. Bro, they have like some of the biggest stars on that show. I'm just saying, he's doing big things, so you gotta give him some credit. He works hard. Becca F said, the fact there is enough to make a second list and probably a third and a fourth and a fifth is frightening. I'll be honest, these lists are like a little like I don't know, like I said, Roman Atwood, you know, because he does pranks with his kid. Like, should he go to jail? No, probably not. But, you know, you like, it's not, you know, it's just like a rough, you could kind of make an argument for it, you know? Some of them, yeah, because they've done really awful things. But there's like a line, you know? MT said, oh, so Jared likes hockey. You can tell by my hat. Get it? It's a Raptors hat, basketball. I do like hockey. Hockey, football, MMA. Basketball's alright. I watch the Raptors in the playoffs because, you know, I'll support my team, but I don't really care for them year round. I know that's like not a good thing to say, but hey, I'm a hockey boy. I like the Eagles, Philadelphia, and I love MMA. So let's watch some UFC on Saturday night, baby. This Saturday, Kevin Holland, let's go! Alright guys, that's all for this one. I'll see you soon. Love you.